Mm, put this on the record. All right. The court is calling cause number 2019 DCM 3857. This is a hearing on a motion filed or petition filed by the Attorney General Office. It's entitled a petition in suit affecting parent-child relationship and a motion to modify and to confirm child support arrearage. Um, Parties in this case are Raimundo Rangel, who is present before me on the Zoom application, and also Ms. Alexia Samanego is also appearing before me. Let me see, Mr. Rangel, you need to unmute.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Can you hear me now, sir?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Samaniego, can you hear me as well?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, parties are present before me. My name is Antonio Rodriguez. I am the Associate Judge for the Title 4D Court here in El Paso, Texas. We are appearing on the Zoom application since we cannot appear in court due to the current pandemic crisis that's going on in our community. However, the Supreme Court of the State of Texas and the local Council of Judges have permitted us to conduct our hearings remotely, and we're doing so in this Zoom application. Also, in order to comply with the Texas rules, we have to keep our courts open to the public. That's why this matter is being live streamed on the YouTube channel. However, as soon as this hearing is concluded, that live stream will be taken off the YouTube channel. Okay. I'm also recording the evidence in this case on the computer generated system. That is the official record of the proceedings here today. No person is allowed to record any of the proceedings here today. All right. I'll ask parties to conduct themselves as you were in court, as if you were in court. In fact, you are in court and you are present before me. So please observe all courtesies and especially do not talk over each other because sometimes the audio portion may not work as well as it should. So one person speaking at one time. Understand the parties have met with the Assistant Attorney General in this case, and unfortunately no agreement has been reached on some issue. And at this time, I'll ask Ms. Morris, Assistant Attorney General, to make an announcement on this matter. Ms. Morris, where are we on this case?
Yes, Judge. Parties have not reached an agreement in the amount of child support to be ordered in this suit to mod. And we would like to put the parties on a stand for testimony.
Okay. All right, Mr. Rangel, are you ready to proceed today, sir?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Samaniego, are you ready to proceed today, ma'am?
Yes.
All right, I'll ask both parties to please raise your right hand so I can swear you in. Do you indeed solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, both parties answer the affirmative. Go ahead and lower your hands, please. All right, this is, as indicated, a petition to in suit affecting parent-child relationship. It appears that the purpose of this hearing is the petition is to add a second child to the case that was not included in the original order of 2019. All right, go ahead, Ms. Morris.
Judge, state calls Mrs. Samanego. Ms. Samanego, can you please state your name for the record, full name?
Alexia Samaniego.
And what are the names of the children before the court?
Olivia Rangel and Raimundo Rangel.
And their ages?
2 and 1.
And who is the father of the children before the court?
Ray
In his full name?
Rangel.
Okay. And you were Mr. Rangel was previously ordered child support, correct? And who was he
Yes.
ordered to pay child support for?
To Ray Rangel, our baby, a little boy.
Okay. And so was he ordered child support or what type of support was he
No,
ordered?
just Medicaid.
Okay. And so we are here to add Olivia to this court order, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Judge, state offers as Exhibit 1 the acknowledgement of paternity due to the non-disclosure. I have submitted it as an exhibit to your email.
Okay, all right. That would be with regard to the Olivia or the,
Yes, with regard to the acknowledgement of paternity for Olivia Rangel.
okay, all right. That's fine. I'll take judicial notice of the acknowledgement of paternity with regard to Olivia. There's no issue, right, Mr. Rangel, that you're the father of Olivia?
No.
Okay, and Ms. Samaniego, Mr. Rangel is the father of Olivia, right?
Yes.
And you all signed an acknowledgement of paternity, acknowledging that he was the father of that child.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, very well. Go ahead, Ms. Morris.
Okay. Now, I want to talk to you about health insurance first. How is health insurance being provided currently for the children?
Medicaid.
Okay. And are you working?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have access to private health insurance at a reasonable cost?
No.
Okay. Are you aware of Mr. Rahel's earning capacity?
Yes.
Okay. And are you aware of where he works or if he's working?
I know he's working.
Okay. Where does he work?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you know how much he earns an hour?
No.
Okay. You just know that he's employed.
Yes.
Okay. Are you in agreement with the OAG's calculation based on the number that was presented, his gross income at $1,841.67?
Yes.
And are you in agreement that Mr. Rangel does have 3 other children outside of this court order to whom he's providing for?
Yes.
Okay. And are you in agreement with the adjusted OAG's calculations that his child support for this order should be at $291?
Yes. But it can be lower as well if he.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. And so are you in agreement with the medical reimbursement at 5%, $92 a month for both children?
Yes.
Okay. Now I want to talk about you mentioning that the child support can be lowered. Uh, that is something that we call a deviation. Okay. And so what requires a deviation is a material and substantial change, and you have about 17 factors. Uh, what would be the reason why you would agree to lower the child support?
Because his family provides for my kids and buys them their clothes and shoes and helps take care of them financially.
Okay. Outside of what the court order provides or
Yes.
obligates. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, there are arrears. There are some medical arrears in the amount of $141.57. What, if anything, did you want to do with that today that is owed to
No.
you?
Nothing.
Okay. So nothing as in you want to release that arrears balance?
Like, yeah, I don't want, like, release it.
Okay, got you. All right. Now, I want to also talk about um, retroactive support for Olivia. The law allows you to go back 4 years or from the date of the child's birth. In this case, Olivia's barely 1 or 2. Um, are you seeking retro today?
No.
Okay. Do you understand that if you don't seek it today, you can't come back and recoup that?
I understand.
Okay. Now, if this order was to be drafted by me, and it would expose your address, social, phone number, anything like personal, would that subject you to any hurt, harm, or harassment?
No.
Okay. So are you requesting that there be no non-disclosure? Are you okay with your information being on the order?
Yes.
Okay. And would you allow me to draft it without you having to review it?
Yes.
Okay. State passed a witness.
Right. Just a follow-up question for Ms. Samaniego. Ms. Samaniego, you mentioned that one of the reasons for deviating from the child support order that would normally be issued, you said that his family provides support, or family provides, his family, Mr. Rangel's family provides some support. How about Mr. Rangel? Does he provide any support for the child or for the children?
I'm not. I'm assuming that everything that his family gets for the kids comes from him
Okay. All right. Okay.
as well.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. All right. Go ahead, Ms. Morris.
Thanks, Judge. State calls Mr. Rangel. Mr. Rangel, can you please state your full name for the record?
Raimundo Rangel.
And you've heard the testimony before the court today, correct?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And you agree with the OAG calculation. You're at 17 an hour, 25 hours a week, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And sometimes, like I said, sometimes the past 2 weeks I haven't even worked at all. So it's just
Right. So, but based on the snapshot of your capacity, that would be roughly what you're earning, correct?
yes, when I
Okay.
no work.
So you heard the calculations of the OAG at $291 and $92 in medical reimbursement. You've heard the testimony of Ms. Samanego that she's willing to deviate. What have you, or can you expand on what she's testified as to what you've done for the children outside of this court order?
Well, yeah, we help her out. You know, we when I have my kids on the weekends, the days I do have them, I provide for them. I take care of them on my behalf. Me and my family get together. You know, sometimes with the money I have, we all come together and we help her out. We buy stuff for the kids when they need them. And you know, I'm there for them as much as I can be, not
Okay.
just financially, but with them as well.
Okay. In terms of visitation and emotionally,
And
is that
during
what you're?
we help her out. We have with I get the kids during the week at times. I help her. My family helps her. We all come together. We provide in a way
Okay.
we.
Okay. I want to talk about your arrears. Um, Mom's gonna release her in, but you do understand you owe the state of Texas a balance, correct?
Yes, and I
Yeah.
understand, and that's the thing about the calculations of the child support. But also when it comes down to the Medicaid and everything coming together, that's where it's gonna affect me really bad, because like I said, I pay about 1,000 and something for my other children a month, and that's something that's already set. So they're whatever money I do make, they're already taking out of that. So including taxes and because I don't have dependents, the taxes, they take a lot of money from me, and including this as well, it's gonna leave me pretty much with nothing to survive on my. And I have my
Okay.
expenses that I gotta pay. I got bills. I'm on probation. I gotta pay, constantly be paying off fee on probation and everything. And it's
Mhm.
I'm gonna be left with nothing. And the
Okay.
the fact that my job isn't secure, it hasn't been secure going on 3 months already. I don't
Okay.
have.
So, all right, let me stop you there. I understand you want to explain your situation, but you do understand arrears are there. They're there. There is nothing you can do about it. It's a debt, right? Okay. And um, that debt that you owe us is an amount of $1,020.03, right?
Mhm.
And you are to pay that at 55 a month. You do understand that until that balance is off.
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about, I think that's it. If you were to put a number, we're talking about deviation, and we're talking about going below 291. What do you think is in the best interest of the children, and that could provide in a reasonable way? What number would that look like for you?
Well, me and Mr. Samanego, we had spoke about this about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, before we had this hearing coming up. and we had agreed to 350, and that was her agreement at that time. I don't know what she's willing to do this time, but we did speak about it. I explained to her my situation. She was in agreement with it, but not something we have to present to you guys.
Okay, so you're saying 350 in child support alone, or 350 including both child and medical?
All together. And I briefly explained to her, and I told her that when the day comes that I am making more money, or when I start making money and I am actually working, we can come to an agreement to go back to court where I can help her financially on my side.
Okay. Thank us, state. Let me ask you a couple of questions. If this order was to be drafted and it would expose your personal information, would that subject you to any hurt, harm, or harassment?
Oh, that's okay.
Okay. And likewise, would you allow me to draft this order if it's approved today without you needing to sign off on it?
That's fine. Yes.
Okay. The state passed a witness. I have a follow-up. Ms. Samanego, you've heard the testimony of Mr. Rangel of asserting allegedly a $350 negotiation price with you. Is that correct?
Yes, I understand, but that was like including Medicaid, everything. Like he didn't
Okay.
want to go over that.
Okay. And so what are your thoughts about that, if that was to be broken into or included as one?
I mean, that's fine. I mean, I could even like, instead of like the 290, like 200, and then the 50 that he owes in back pay. So it'll be like 255 that they'd be taking from him. Right?
So you're saying 290 in child support, the 55 you won't see, that goes to us.
Yeah.
And so what are you asserting for medical?
So like, I can lower with the 290, but what you guys calculated to like 200. And then that's how much I would be getting is 200. And then obviously whatever for the medical they take away from him, so it doesn't affect him too much.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Samanego. State rests subject to a brief close and recommendation.
All right. Mr. Rangel, where is it that you work? I didn't get your place of employment.
I work for a temp agency called it's called TNT Staffing.
Okay.
So when I was working with them about 6 months ago, I had a job, and I'm a welder for the gas company, but because of everything that's happening, our jobs plummeted. So for example, if I get a job somewhere, they send me there for maybe for 3 days out of the week. And like I said, these past 2 weeks, I haven't worked at all.
Okay. All right. No, I understand. I understand how temp agencies work, sir. We've heard that before with them.
Mm-hmm.
Know where it is that you work. Do you visit with the children?
Yes, sir, I do. I get them.
Is there any problem with visitation?
No, not at all. Not at all. I get them.
What is it that you all have worked out as far as visitation, Mr. Rocket?
Well, we help her out in the terms that she has to work from home. I don't know if she's still working from home, but there's times when the kids they get loud and they need to be taken care of. So,
Mr. Rangel, I'm just asking you, how often do you visit with the children?
I see them about 3 days out of the week.
3 days out of the week?
Yes.
And how do you arrange that? You all talk to each other and work it out between both of you?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Samaniego, is that pretty much how it works as far as visitation?
Yes.
Okay. You didn't sound very convincing, Ms. Samaniego. Was that true?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes he sees them more a week.
Okay. All right. Because the way that we usually work out visitation, there's what we call a standard visitation schedule, and it sets out the days, times, and all that. Let's see. Olivia is 2 years of age.
No, she's like 1.5.
1.5. And Ray is how?
2.5.
Okay, then it wouldn't be. There's a separate visitation schedule for children under the age of 3. Okay, and that's set out in our practice here. But if both parties are willing to work out the visitation between themselves, the court can go ahead and leave the visitation up to both of you to agree upon, as long as it's reasonable and as long as it's being worked out by both parties. If for some reason things do not work out and the dispute about visitation, that's when that visitation the schedule will apply. Okay. Let me see here. All right. Any other questions, Ms. Morris, for the parties, either party?
None. No.
Okay. All right. Let me do this then. I will find that Mr. Rangel is the father of the child, Olivia, and I'm going to go ahead and appoint both parties joint managing conservators of the children. Ms. Samaniego will have primary custody or primary possession of the children. Um, Visitation will be as the parties have agreed upon, however they agree, as long as it's reasonable. And if there's no agreement or there's a dispute, then that's when the standard visitation schedule will apply for children under 3 years of age. We didn't talk about any geographical restriction. Ms. Samaniego, do you have any plans to move out of El Paso County for either work or educational purposes?
No.
Okay. There'll be geographical restriction to El Paso County. Visitation as agreed upon. Neither party is asking for non-disclosure to be granted, or there was requested, it's been waived by the parties. So that leaves the issue on the medical support. As indicated, the previous order did set out medical support. I'm looking at the order right now. It said medical support at $66 for the medical support for the children, for the child at that one child at that time. Is the medical support arrearage, Ms. Morris? Is that Medicaid or the medical support?
That is Medicaid.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she can waive any portion of that or release any of those arrearages. Are you?
Now I know that he can't release our assigned, but the unassigned she doesn't.
Okay. Well,
But
I mean, isn't it all assigned to the state if it's Medicaid?
There's interest
Okay. Well,
included.
all right. Go ahead and tell me what your recommendation is, Ms. Morris.
All right, my recommendation for the arrears and as of February 24th or 23rd, he owes us $1,086.03, and that is to be paid at $55 a month.
Okay. And child support and medical support?
Recommend that the deviation be applied based on subsection 1 and 2 to contribute the way father contributing toward the needs of the children outside of the order. Proposed at child support proposed at 200, with a medical proposed at 92.
And about payment on the arrearage?
And $55 a month on the arrears.
Just so 200, 92, 55. Oops. That's 347. That's the parties have stated that they agreed to a total payment of 350. So that's pretty much what is being recommended then. $200 on the child support, 92 on the medical support, and 55 on the arrearage on medical support. That totals 347. Y'all agreed to set a total amount of 350. That's pretty close to that. Their recommendation, the state's recommendation, is close to what y'all have agreed upon.
Okay.
So that will start March 1st. Okay. Um,
Judge, you are correct. Actually, I stand corrected. Mom cannot waive that medical. I'm so sorry. So we got to collect on that 141.
okay. All right. So what is a medical support? Arrangement?
Let me, okay, let me recalculate. The medical support arrears is going to be $1,227.60.
Okay. I'll go
And let,
confirm. Yeah, I'll go ahead and confirm that as the medical support arrearage. I'll still leave it at the payment
right,
on the 55. So
right.
it still comes out to a total of 347.
Mm-hmm.
Total child support, medical support, and payment on the arrearage. Okay.
Okay.
That's agreed upon. I'll go ahead and approve the deviation of the child support. It's a deviation according to the child support guidelines. We usually follow the guidelines. However, the, the family code does provide for a deviation. Okay. Do you have any questions, Mr. Rangel, Ms. Samaniego, as to the court's order?
No, sir.
Okay. Ms. Samaniego, you shook your head. I need a verbal response.
No,
You're okay with that?
yes.
Okay.
And
That'll be the
Judge,
order of the court.
can I
Yes,
get
ma'am.
the geo again? Is it no geo restriction?
Oh, no, geographical restriction to El Paso.
Okay, I got you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And nobody, if there was a request for non-disclosure, it was waived by the parties.
Correct.
And let's see. Okay, I think that's it then. All right, so Ms. Morris will go ahead and prepare the order as I have just rendered it right now. Once I receive it, I will sign it. The order will then be filed with the clerk's office, and both parties will receive a copy of their orders shortly after that. I don't know how soon they can get it, but you both will receive a copy of the order. Okay. All right. Unless there's something else, that concludes our hearing for today. Thank you all for working this matter out. And that concludes our hearing. So you all can sign out. Be safe. Be careful out there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.